Welcome to the Land, Leisure and Tourism podcast, where we explore fresh ideas, drive innovation, inspiration, and growth across the land, leisure, and tourism sectors. Our mission: to empower businesses and arm you with the knowledge to help you grow and succeed across the tourism industry. I am your host, Agustina, and today we're talking about the unique opportunity for family-friendly sites to increase engagement, satisfaction, and loyalty through inspiring designs. And we're thrilled to welcome Lorraine from Colour Heroes today. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Very good, actually. We're almost set up and raring to go. So quite excited about this one, actually. It's something we do every year. And I don't know, I just feel like there's an energy out there and that people are wanting to buy. Our order book is full, which is a great place to be at this time of the year because often it tails off for us and then it goes absolutely crazy at Christmas and into the new year and then through to Easter. So yes, we're really excited actually.
Oh, that's amazing. And yeah, the Land, Leisure and Tourism Show is the perfect place to meet people, network and get new clients, but also meet old clients as well, yes, have a nice chat. Yes. And let's dive straight in. Tell us about Colour Heroes. What do you guys do?
So basically we create high quality resources for museums, farm attractions, national trusts, lots of charities, and these are made by our team back in the office, 4 illustrators and designers who are in-house. So we're a team of 8, family owned and run company. We were 23 last Friday. So what we want to bring is just loads and loads of enthusiasm and positivity to help businesses to grow, but also to access the really massive opportunity that there is for families, because families expect now a better experience and they expect something that's going to create a memory for them. You know, they're spending hard-earned cash and the expectation now is that there's something there for a family to do, and if you're not doing it, somebody else will. So we just like to help as many people as we can, and it doesn't matter whether you're an absolutely massive business or a smaller business, all budgets can be catered for.
I love that, and it is like you say, it's enhancing and adding to that experience, and why not use that opportunity there to be creative. And I was looking at your website as well, and you guys have characters for every person that works with you guys, and I thought that was amazing because it helps tell the story of your company, and I feel like you can also bring that to other companies.
That's exactly right, and it is about stories, and that's really what we're accessing. Every business has a story, has a USP, and our job is to make sure that in a conversation, and that's all it is, it's just a conversation, to eke out that story and to find that thing that makes a business and a company, a family business or a large massive company, what is that unique thing that we want people to come and find out more about, and then take away a memory that's long lasting. And let's not forget, we're engaging with young children and families who are the buyers of the future, and what better way to get them going and thinking about our history, our legacy, farming particularly. I mean, we just need to be doing as much as we can to help that story. We need more growing at home, if you like, and that's not just with plants and gardening, it is with our children and our families really.
And you never know whose day you're going to make, and they might, in 20 years be like, oh, I remember, when I went there as a child, and then they bring their own kids. And you've kind of mentioned it briefly, but why do you think families are such a huge opportunity for the entertainment and attraction industry?
I don't think that anybody really makes the most of the opportunity that's there, particularly with children. Now, I've got grandchildren, and they are so quick at picking up things, technology particularly, but I think sometimes technology, they get a bit sort of like, that's an easy win, if you like. And I know what we're seeing over 23 years, lots of things have come and gone, but the thing that has never gone is that resource that you can hold in your hand, something you can take home, make a memory box, stick it on the fridge, send it to granny, grandpa, carers, anything really. And that's really what we're about. We're making memories with our customers, and it's such an easy process to get to the point where we find what that unique story is, and that's really what we want to do as much as possible.
I love that, and I'm always that one person that will take everything home, put it in my scrapbook, so I love that. And now, speaking of the products, could you give us a brief overview of what products you guys offer?
So we're in map season. Everybody wants a map for next season. So at the moment, I think we've got 6 or 7 ongoing. The latest one is Beamish. So we're doing their map, which is a project we've really wanted to get involved in for quite a long time. And they have a very exacting brief. You know, this is a big site, but they want everybody to get something out of it. And some visitors only maybe have an hour or 2 hours to go there. So we want to try and break it down so there's something for everybody. So maps is the big thing. From your map, you can then have an activity trail. You can have kind of interactive boards to go in your farm, shop, your museum, your whatever it is really, to support what's going on the site. It doesn't matter whether you're a tiny site or whether you're a great big site, whether you're indoors, partly outdoors. It really doesn't matter. You will have a story, and we will navigate the customer, the family through the journey. And then we go to things like our standees, which are a great way, character-led often, and so they'll welcome people into the facility wherever it is. And it's something children can really get excited about, and families then can engage. You know, then you can have loyalty programs, and it just has a fantastic way of rolling around every season something new that we can use that character for. So lots of character creation. Retail products, we've seen a massive uptick in retail products branded for sites, which is much better than using a licensed product, because it means that your brand can then be top of the shelf, if you like, and really, really promoting, you know, what you do. And it's a great money-making opportunity as well. Grandparents particularly love to buy something for the grandchildren, but mums and dads as well. You know, you've got people who educate at home, and you know, so many resources that we can create. They don't need to be expensive either, just as long as you're doing something.
I love that, and again, it goes back to that storytelling and continuing that branding, but also goes back to creating those memories and taking it home. So I feel like it is that experience that you're creating for the businesses.
Absolutely.
And now, coming to all of those amazing designs that you guys create, you have in-house designers. How does that process work, and how does that set you apart from other businesses?
Well, I think we're fairly unique. I don't know another business that does what we do. So we take a concept, an idea, a story, and take it right the way through to it being printed or put on a poster or on a website or some digital resource. The designers and illustrators that we've got, 4 of them, they are in-house, and the range of skills is off the scale. So if you have a look at our website, and I invite you to do so, as you've said, you'll see a massive range of styles. But we do also specialise in, I've got fine artist who is amazing, caricatures as well, which are always good, and then a watercolourist. So, you know, if you want something softer, more pastel-y, great copy artists as well. So if you've got something that you had done 10 years ago and the artist is no longer doing it, or you just can't find them or whatever, you know, we can copy that style. So you never need to be kind of left, if you like, you know, thinking, now what am I going to do? Because we are also a bureau service. So if you need just a few illustrations, we did some for Fort Nelson, which is part of the Royal Armouries, and they just needed some elves and a Christmas bauble. And that's what we did for them. So that worked really, really well. So there's something for everybody.
It's, again, going back to that, you know, different budgets, different sizes of product. There's no small project, no too big project. There's
exactly.
always something for everybody.
100%.
And I love that you have, like you say, different styles, different designers that have different, you know, talents, because you can tell so many different stories and bring different personalities of different brands to life as well.
Yes, that's exactly right. And they're all educated to degree level. And for us, that's a really, really important aspect of it. You know, I've worked with, I mean, dozens, literally, talented artists. But the one thing with us at Colour Heroes that we are really good at is drilling down and getting the nuances of a business or a theme or a story. So we can access much deeper and do a deeper dive, but it's honestly, we're so quick at doing that. But it's that intellectual capability, if you like, of my team, and also the close-knitness of that team. We work in an open plan office, so all 8 of us are aware of who's working on a project. If they get stuck, that creative input can go in, the experience can go in. And we work with some really challenging brands sometimes, and sometimes on some really challenging stories. I've written books for Help for Heroes, which were bereavement books. Very difficult to get that right, but we're able to do that because we understand what the final audience is going to be and what the purpose is, and these are the really important questions we deal with first. And it all sounds really like, oh my God, that's really in depth and all the rest. It's a conversation, and that's really all it's about, because we know what we're doing and we know what we need to get to, and when the penny drops, it's amazing and something really magic happens then, and that's what I love, and that's why I don't think I'm going to retire. I think I'm going to just carry on doing what I do, because it is, honestly, it's so gratifying when you get a project and it just comes to life, and the customer is so delighted. So yes, it's a great job and it's a great team.
It sounds very rewarding, and I love what you say about the close-knit team and having that good communication, not only with your team but also the client. Yes. And it just goes back and forth.
Yes, and it is like that, and I genuinely, and the testimonials we get are absolutely amazing, and we never really have time to stop and pause because we're usually on to the next one. But I will never stop saying the team that I have are a very special group of individuals who together make the most amazing products and care so deeply about what they do. And every project, doesn't matter what the money spent is, if it's £250 or 25 grand, it does not matter. The same level of service and detail will go into each product.
That sounds amazing. And speaking of the products, what do you think are the main benefits or family attractions, including these products in their attractions?
It's really about telling your story. It's absolutely about engagement. It's about allowing a family or a group of people to really come and enjoy what you have to offer. And I think sometimes we get so stuck in the everyday business. We're working on it rather than and in it, rather than actually thinking about what would really work. And again, I know it sounds, because I've done it myself, I've been in business for a very long time, and I've panicked thinking, oh my goodness, I know I should be doing this, but I'm not, because I've got this to do and that to do. But honestly, the best hour you could spend working on your business would be to just have that conversation, because the market is huge for families. And that's not even mentioning people like special educational needs groups, who we do in a lot of work for, those disadvantaged families and children who are under a lot of pressure. And just to help that, it helps all the visitors to the site, and it also helps the business owners, because they then can genuinely say we're doing something for that group. So whether it's a self-led group, whether it's a school group, whether it's a group of over 60s or whatever, there's always something in it. We don't just major on children and families. If there's a group that you need to communicate with, then we'd like to speak to you, because there is a route and there is a way of doing that, and we'll find it.
And now going back to accessibility, how do you guys support accessibility? You mentioned briefly about your projects. Do you want to dive a bit deeper into that?
Yes, it's something that we've done from day one. It's something I feel really, really strongly about, that there should be no group or individual who feels nervous, worried, upset, when they come into a site. And I notice this, particularly when people go into buildings. Art galleries are a good example of this, but when you've got a great big farm attraction and you've got lots of noise, you might have lots of things going on. For the people who are struggling, it's an assault on their senses, really. It can be a really confusing place for people to go who have got special educational needs. So we work with a lady who has developed a special educational needs course, which she gives to museums and to individuals and to people. And we kind of check in with her if we feel that this is something that is needed on a site. But generally, maps and trails and things like that, we are building them so that you can put layers into them, so they can either be simplified or changed so that they can suit and be adapted to a particular group or for a particular need. And again, it's really easy once we've got the illustrations there, and of course that's what we do in bucket loads, so little text is required because the illustration can tell the story, and that for us is a really big bonus, particularly for people who've got special educational needs. So we're quite lucky, I think, on that one.
That's amazing, and it goes back to that many different ways that you can tell a story, so why not find a way to further that point as well for every group, like you say.
Yeah.
And speaking of flexibility as well, how do you guys customize each map and work with different locations? As I'm sure there's so much variety out there.
Well, it's easy really with us because every project is bespoke. So although we create templates for people, and we're often asked for that for either websites or for different sort of aspects of a business, the maps generally are bespoke. So people get to choose the style. So it might be something that they've seen elsewhere. We had one yesterday where I got a Pinterest board really, and the amount of things that they put on there, but they were really good because they said, this is what we love, this is what we don't like, but better still, they said, this is why we don't like it. So we can take that and then make sure that we are creating a map. It is a map for life with us. The changes and the alterations are easy to make. It's easy to adapt, and the farming community will know this. They can put a building up in 6 weeks and suddenly the site has grown by 50%, or it's changed the flow of the visitor. And those are the sort of calls we get regularly, and that is literally what people do. They ring us up and say, look, we've got this extra facility, we've put a car park in, or we've done something, it's major usually, but we can do those, and we do those changes pretty much immediately so that they're back up and running with a map that they can use again, that's effective and it's accurate. So it's bespoke really, so there's no kind of preconceived ideas before we start. It is personal to each site.
That's really good because each business will know that. They'll have that guarantee from you as well, that it will be very personalized and they'll get exactly what they want for their specific site.
Yeah.
And now to further the story, you mentioned briefly character creation. Can we go back into that? I'm a huge fan of anything that gives character and brings, you know, a specific personality to the story. So how does that enhance the visitor experience?
So the character creations, again, are a great part of the story, because if we can find that one person or animal or character that really sells the facility. We did one for the Lead Mining Museum up in Scotland, and it's in a valley, a tiny little museum that's only open a few months of the year because the weather's so awful. So we did a lead mining character there, and that just brought to life what is a really heart-wrenching story of children with chilblains in a beck where they're having to clean the ore that's come out of the mine and everything. And the story there is, I mean, it's heartbreaking really. But this one character is synonymous because what you see is the lead, or the resource that they were after and was so expensive at that time, and how the suffering of the people who work there, and the story's huge really. But then you get fun characters again, a little museum up in Cumbria where we created a pink dragon for children who don't have a lot, and the artist that worked on that is my fine artist, and he just felt that those children really deserved the best that we could do, and they're just magical characters. So the characters can be used to access areas that sometimes are quite difficult for us to talk about, because then we can use them as a conduit to have a conversation that's maybe difficult. So yeah, I'm a big fan of characters.
That is amazing, and especially like you say, telling those difficult stories and making those more accessible and being able to access those more difficult themes is really good. Yeah. And now, speaking of crises as well, how do you guys deal? You did mention briefly maybe like a parking lot changes or a building changes, but how does your team deal with trouble or crises that may come up?
It's easy really, because we're so tight as a team. So we've got really good production in Suzanne at the office, and everybody who has a job printed or produced will meet Suzanne at some point, and she's meticulous in her detail. So we get a crisis usually which is, I need this yesterday, and it's a whole job. And I remember us making one for Blue Planet in Chester some years ago, and we literally did the concept on the Monday, worked through the night and delivered it on the Friday as a leaflet. It was an an A3 six-page leaflet, but we literally worked through the night. So I would come in at maybe 6 o'clock and my artist would have finished done what they did. Then we get it typeset and then copy checked and then printed, and away it went. So there aren't really, I wouldn't say there's anything that's a crisis for us, because we are so confident in what we do and we've got so much knowledge. Our industry knowledge spans, I mean, tens of decades. And Suzanne and I, our background is in print, so we pretty much know if there's a shortcut, and we will take that shortcut if it's required. So yeah, there's no crisis for us. It's all, you know, it's just work. It's just fun.
I love that. And it is that pride as well when you say we finished that project in those 5 days, worked hard, and you know, you're really proud of that end product that you have.
Absolutely.
And also, sustainability is a really hot topic everywhere. We always mention it. And you guys use FSC? FSC. Yes, materials.
Yes, that's right. So FSC, we believe, is the best option for sustainability with printed material, because it relies on every tree that's chopped down. A number of trees are planted in its kind of place, if you like. For us, the sustainability, we can track pretty much where the wood pulp comes from, so the trees originally. The carbon capture now, which is in all of the factories, printing companies that we use, that's the sort of technology that they're using. They've got all sorts of things going on there to try to minimise the impact. But Colour Heroes, since it started, we've always been a very low impact company. Even to the point when we used to have ink cartridges, we always used to make sure that we disposed of them responsibly. But honestly, we are a few computers and a few desks, and that's about as much as we impact on the great wide world. But our products are all pretty much, you can put them in the recycling bin. There's a few where if you decide that you want a laminate, and again, because they're bespoke, people can choose that that's the look that they want. We won't stop them from doing that, but we will find the most economic one and also the most ecological solution. So, and if somebody comes to us with a particular request, which we've got one at the moment, which is a lot of outdoor signage, so we're looking at new ways of doing that will fit the bill, because their sustainability is really important to them. And working with people like National Trust, Woodland Trust, again, you have to have the integrity there in the product. So again, we will always look after that for people.
And it's also going back to that experience that you have as a company and those contacts that you have, and that you can provide that information to your clients, and that way they can make that informed solution and decision as well.
Yes, that's spot on, really. Just giving people the power to say, you know, well, this is the option, and then you can kind of take the option that you feel comfortable with, and there'll be a price consideration there. But most things are doable these days. You know, we can find it somewhere. We very rarely buy anything from China, and that's been a policy really. The only thing we bring in are pencil crayons and wax crayons, and use a company to land those for us. So we are pretty good on mileage. We don't rack up a lot of product miles.
That's amazing as well, and you can also share that with your clients as well.
Yes, yeah.
And now, speaking of clients, if somebody wanted to start working with you, how would that process work?
I think the easiest and quickest way is just pick up the phone, or we'll set up a Teams meeting, and you know, 10 minutes, an hour would be a great amount of time to just look at all the opportunities there. And what we often do, we'll start by having that conversation, and then maybe have a plan. So in the first year, we'll do a number of low-hanging kind of opportunities, if you like, which often don't cost a great deal because they are really great opportunities, and then build. And I've seen visitor numbers rise quite dramatically in some sites that we've worked in where we've been able to put a suite of products in. So that's really what I would say. Just pick up the phone, send us an email, www.colourheroes.com, website enquiry, and we'll just talk you through it. And there's no obligation, you know, if you go away with lots of information, that's brilliant. And I'm happy to share that information and that knowledge just to help people really make this world a better place for families with children and those send audiences that really need our help to give them the enjoyment that we're all having at places. So yeah, just pick up the phone.
It's all about starting that conversation.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing, and making it really easy for everybody.
Absolutely, yes.
And now as well, we mentioned budgets many times. So how do you make sure that you keep those budgets, you know, for many different types of businesses?
So the good thing with us is our quotes are guaranteed. So they're guaranteed not to go up once we've the quote's been accepted. So basically the quotes are usually valid for probably, I'd say 3 months, sometimes 6 months. So as long as you've got a quote there and once we've agreed a price, that is the price you're going to pay. So you're never going to have a phone call where we're saying we need more money because it's taken longer or we had to do this, that and the other. The only time there will be a conversation like that is if the specifications changed, and usually we've done that in agreement with the customer because they've wanted to add something or change something fairly dramatic. So, you know, people, it's much better if people will come and say, look, I've got 500 quid to spend, or I've got a couple of grand, what can I do? And we will then make sure that we give them the best value possible. The quality is going to be there. The illustrations are not going to be any different from anybody paying 10 times the money. You will get really good quality and you will get something that makes a difference.
And it's again back to that conversation, being transparent and communicating with each other and making sure you know what you want to get out of this and how do we get there.
Exactly, that's exactly right. And sometimes, you know, we've got people who've probably talked to us 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. In fact, I've had people that I spoke to way back in the day and they've come back, they've never forgotten the conversation, but suddenly they've got some money and off we go. And it's amazing to get that call. And that always fills me with pride that people remember us and also know that we can do a good job for them.
I love that, and again, sounds so rewarding because you can help people tell their stories, and when they finally get to that point, it's like, yes, let's go.
Yes, let's do it. Yes.
And based on your professional experience, what do you think is something key that rural businesses can add to enhance their visitor experience?
I think it really is look at the opportunity that you have for families with children. Everybody's looking now for more value for money. People are using their hard-earned money to come out and to give their children a good time. And I think that's the responsibility that we've got, to try and make that experience the very best that we can. And that usually is about navigating the whole of the site, getting people to stay longer, then increases your secondary spend. It also means you're going to get great referral business. You're going to get people who are going to take resources home. They're going to be lying around on a kitchen table or stuck up on the fridge or whatever. And it's a talking point, show and tell on a Monday morning. You know, what did you all do this weekend? And you get the children that have something physical to take to tell people about. And that's really what it's about. It's about making memories for families in what are challenging times for all of us, for business, for families, for all of us, just trying to make life a little bit more pleasant, really. And we're certainly on that journey with our customers, and we welcome anybody along with us to do that.
It sounds like a lot of growth. It can bring a lot of growth.
It's huge. Honestly, it's virtually, in many respects, untapped. I think there are so many opportunities for every business. And I mean, I can almost guarantee, talking to any business, I will be able to eke out a number of opportunities that they can do straight away to help with their family audience.
That sounds all amazing, and it sounds like you can bring to the table not only creativity but lots of years of experience to bring stories to life. So thank you so much for all of your insights today. It's been amazing, and thank you so much for tuning in, and make sure you keep your eyes peeled for our next episode. Until then, keep creating experiences that give long-lasting impressions.